Echoes of the heart. Chloe. Chloe knew she should have told her best friend about her father's unexpected decision sooner, but the shock had left her tongue-tied. After newly declining the ownership of their family business, Chloe's best friend, Harper, was now sprawled out on the couch, her face buried in a pile of cushions. "You look ridiculous," Chloe whispered, smiling despite the seriousness of her friend's situation. Harper, even in this state, was a picture of beauty, with wavy hair fanned out around her head. Remembering the courageous moment at the New Year's gala, she had been there when Harper declared in front of everyone that she had no desire to inherit Thompson Imports. "What a beautiful, brave mess," Chloe muttered to herself, her heart swelling with admiration. She moved closer and gently pulled the blanket around Harper's shoulders, wishing she had even a fraction of her confidence when it came to confessing her feelings. What she would give to pour her heart out to Harper, as easy as her friend had spoken her truth. "Harper," she said softly, shaking her friend's shoulder. "Wake up. Let me help you to the bed before you end up with a stiff neck." A soft groan answered her, as Harper swatted at Chloe's hand, adding to the playful tension in the room. Instead of moving, she buried her face deeper into the couch. Chloe chuckled quietly to herself. The phone in her pocket buzzed, making her freeze. It was almost 10 o'clock, and she was sure it was Harper's father calling, concerned and probably panicked. Taking a deep breath, she answered, her heart racing. "Mr. Thompson." "Chloe, is Harper with you?" His deep voice was laced with worry. Chloe glanced over at her friend, who was still fast asleep. "Yes," she replied softly, "she's just a little tipsy and passed out on my couch. I'll take care of her, I promise." She often thought about how much she wanted to tell Mr. Thompson about Harper's love for art, and how she would rather paint than handle spreadsheets. But most of all, she wished she could share her feelings for his daughter, her best friend. Instead, she kept quiet, preferring the safety of friendship over the risk of losing it. "Thank you, Chloe. I appreciate it. Just keep an eye on her," Mr. Thompson said before hanging up. Tiptoeing to the bathroom, Chloe filled a basin with warm water, trying to take care not to wake Harper. She wiped her friend's forehead and arms, relieved that she hadn't thrown up. It was always impressive how Harper could drink so much without tasting it, thanks to Chloe's new affection for sweet cocktails. Suddenly, she felt fingers pinch her cheek, and she turned to see Harper's face just an inch away. She mumbled, eyes still closed, "Why are you all puffy?" Chloe chuckled, her heart racing. "I'm not puffy, I'm preparing to become a disaster artist like you." She carefully removed Harper's hand from her face, but Harper's grasp only tightened. "Don't go anywhere," she murmured, sinking her face back into the couch. Feeling her proximity made Chloe's heart race even faster. "If you keep this up, I might have to kiss you." At that, Chloe froze. A kiss? The very thought sent a violent spiral of emotions through her. She had longed for that moment but feared what it could do to their friendship. "You smell awful," she replied, the words tumbling out clumsily. Despite her fears, she couldn't help but smile. Harper typically exuded warmth and a lovely scent, but not tonight. "You're no rose yourself," Harper teased, fighting back sleep to meet Chloe's gaze. "Besides, I'd rather smell like my best friend than leave." Chloe melted at that. The drunk honesty, the warmth of Harper's breath, and the cozy darkness of the room began to blur her rationality. Everything around them fell away as Chloe leaned in, instinctively wanting to close the gap. But the moment was interrupted as Harper snuggled closer, her heart beating steadily against Chloe's chest. As Harper fell back asleep, Chloe wanted nothing more than to stay in that moment forever. "It will be okay," she whispered into the quiet, wishing she could mean it completely. When she woke up, the smell of pancakes wafted through the air. Sitting up, Chloe winced at the slight headache racing against her temples. She wondered how Harper could be so energetic after a night of heavy drinking. "Morning, sunshine," Harper's voice rang from the kitchen. Chloe rubbed her eyes and stumbled to the kitchen, surprised to see Harper standing there, looking refreshed and bright-eyed. "What magic is this? How are you not hungover?" Chloe teased, attempting to contain her laughter. Harper just grinned as she flipped a pancake. I come prepared. Plus, I eat pancakes like fuel. They shared breakfast in a comfortable silence, but Chloe could feel the weight of the conversation looming over them. After finishing, she decided it was time to talk about Mr. Thompson's call. He wanted to check on you last night, Chloe began hesitantly. Yup, I'll head over to see him today, Harper replied casually. Chloe's heart sank. She wanted to support her friend, to be the rock that Harper sometimes needed. But as she watched Harper's demeanor change slightly, the thought of pushing her feelings aside loomed in her mind like dark clouds. Yeah, okay, Chloe said quietly. I'll be right here if you need me. Chloe, I'll be fine. I'm not a child, Harper quipped, though her eyes lacked the usual sparkle. Of course, she replied, feeling the weight of unspoken words anchoring her down. You should take my car, it'll be faster. With a small smile, she handed Harper her keys, trying not to linger on the warmth of their hands touching. It's practically yours anyway. All right, I'll be quick, Harper said, moving toward the door to get dressed. Turning back, she shot Chloe a grin. You're just worried you'll miss me, right? Chloe wanted to scream that missing her would be unbearable, that she loved her more than words could express. But the weight of their shared history, the fear of disruption, kept her silent. Just take care, all right? Chloe said, her voice wavering slightly as she fought against her own emotions. I always do, Harper smirked, kissing Chloe's cheek briefly. You too, silly. As Harper left, Chloe felt a hollowness settle in her chest. It was a wordless goodbye, filled with so much unknown. The feeling was suffocating as she battled the tears threatening to pour forth. Hours later, a call shattered her serenity. Harper's been in an accident. The words echoed in her mind as the world became a blur of sirens, hospital lights, and frantic whispers. It felt like someone had ripped the ground out from underneath her. When she finally reached Harper's room, the sight knocked the breath from her lungs. Harper lay bandaged, asleep but alive. Relief washed over Chloe as she rushed to her side. I'm here, Chloe whispered as she enveloped Harper in a hug, feeling the warmth of her skin beneath the pale hospital sheets. You're okay. I'm here, I'm so sorry, she stammered, heart racing as she pulled back to scan her friend's injuries. How are you feeling? Chloe asked, panic creeping into her voice. Before Harper could respond, uncertainty flickered in her eyes. Who are you? Every thought in Chloe's mind halted. Her heart dropped as Harper's question sank in. Years of friendship, all overshadowed by the answer Chloe had never shared. I'm Chloe, your best friend, she breathed, practical words falling apart in the face of vulnerability. Layla looked on, confusion blooming on her face. Chloe's heart shattered as the realization hit, this could break their bond forever. But pushing her feelings deep within her was no longer an option. Harper, please don't worry. I'll help you remember, she vowed, squeezing Harper's hand tightly, feeling both the weight of fear and the flicker of determination. At that moment, in the cold light of reality, Chloe let the tears fall freely, letting love spill from her heart into a world filled with uncertainty, echoing a promise stronger than fear. Chloe felt her heart racing as she held Harper's hand, the warmth of it both comforting and painful. Fighting back tears, she searched her best friend's hazel eyes for a flicker of recognition, anything that would reassure her that Harper was still in there, buried under the haze of the accident and a fog of confusion. Harper, please listen to me, Chloe said, her voice barely above a whisper. I'm your best friend. We've known each other for years. At that moment, Elizabeth, the nurse who had been attending to Harper, stepped in to check the vitals, her presence grounding Chloe. She's stable, just a bit disoriented, Elizabeth assured her, giving a warm, encouraging smile. It's not uncommon after an accident. Sometimes the brain closes off certain memories as a protective mechanism. But she won't remember everything, will she? Chloe asked, anxiety threading its way through her voice. She might not remember everything right away. Just be there for her. Support helps more than anything, Elizabeth replied wisely. Chloe nodded, her resolve strengthening despite the weight in her heart. She couldn't imagine life without Harper, without the light and laughter she brought into her world. Harper blinked, her eyes flickering as if she could hear the faintest echo of Chloe's voice. "I remember you," she barely murmured, her voice hoarse. "Chloe." Chloe's heart leaped at the sound of her name, but fear quickly followed. "What else do you remember, Harper?" She leaned closer, gripping her friend's hand tighter, aware of how fragile the moment felt. I think." Harper's brow creased in concentration, a hint of confusion flitting across her face. "You were there, at the gala. And you," she paused, breath hitching slightly. "Just take your time." "I'm here," Chloe reassured her softly, smoothing Harper's tangled hair back. "You don't have to rush anything. Just focus on my voice." "I feel like there's something important," Harper said slowly, uncertainty clouding her expression. "Something missing." Chloe swallowed hard, knowing that now was the time for honesty, to let the words spill forth. "Harper, we have been through so much together. You mean the world to me. I love you." The sincerity of her confession hung in the air like a quiet storm, the tumultuous feelings they'd both held ambiguous under years of friendship spilling into the silence that followed. She watched every subtle change in Harper's expression, desperate for a response. "I love you too," Harper whispered, causing Chloe's heart to swell. "But you have to remember everything." "I want you to remember everything, Harper. No pressure, just remember how we met, the times we spent together, the way you light up every room." Harper's eyes widened with an innocent spark, as though Chloe had lit a candle in her memory. "I remember paintings," she said, her hands twitching as if she longed to create something. "And laughter, so much laughter." "Yes. You love painting," Chloe exclaimed, hope blooming inside her. "You have a beautiful gift, and you've painted some of the most amazing pieces I've ever seen. You always lose yourself in your art. You paint with your heart." Those words seemed to resonate within Harper, a dormant connection igniting. Chloe was overjoyed, clinging to the hope that they could literally paint their way back to each other, one memory at a time. As the days passed in the hospital, Chloe remained by Harper's side. She would tell stories that wrapped around them like warm blankets, sharing moments when laughter filled their lungs, when tears spilled freely for one another over shared heartbreaks and dreams. She would bring photographs to jog Harper's memory, a shot of them at a carnival, faces smeared with cotton candy, smiles framed in joy, another of the two lounging on a beach, sun-kissed and carefree. With each image, she could see the flickers of recognition lighting up Harper's eyes. "Chloe?" Harper said one evening, her voice low and contemplative. "Yes?" Chloe leaned closer, their fingers still intertwined. "I feel like I'm getting pieces back, but it still feels jumbled." "Is it normal to feel this way?" "Yes, it's completely normal," Chloe encouraged, brushing her thumb gently over Harper's knuckles. "You've been through something scary. It takes time to really stitch everything back together. But I promise you're stronger than you think." Harper bit her lip, the vulnerability evident in her eyes. "There are moments, feelings I can't quite place. It's like they're just out of reach." Feeling a rush of bravery, Chloe squeezed her hand tighter. "Maybe it's our bond, Harper. We have so much love woven into our friendship. When you feel a connection, it's because it's still there. Maybe you just need time to access those memories." Harper gazed at her, uncertainty still clouding her brow, but there was a flicker of something deeper, a connection that sparked life into her spirit. "I want to remember everything and maybe the feelings too." Chloe felt her heart skip a beat. "You will, I promise. Just focus on the moments we create from here on out. Let's make new memories that will help you find your way back." Days turned into weeks, and each passing moment allowed Harper to reclaim more of herself. Chloe organized visits with mutual friends, helping to weave the tapestry of their shared history back together. Harper regained her spark, her laughter echoing down hospital halls and filling Chloe's heart with a joy she thought she might never reclaim. But amidst the happiness of rediscovery, a lingering question haunted Chloe's mind. What if Harper's memories came flooding back, a previous life that could drown out everything they built during this time together? Her heart raced at the thought of losing Harper again. One night, sitting beside Harper's hospital bed, the gravity of those swirling feelings surfaced. Chloe closed her eyes for a moment, steeling herself as she gazed into the soft, warm light of the room. "Harper," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "Yeah?" Harper looked at her, curiosity written all over her face. "I need to tell you something, and I want you to hear me clearly. I love you, deeply. There's no one else I would rather be with." Harper searched Chloe's eyes, looking for honesty. "I know you've said that before, but I want to understand where that comes from. What if I can't remember all the ways we were together? What if you don't need to?" Chloe said firmly, trying to hold herself together. "What if it's about the love we have now, the dreams we can build? I just want a chance to build a future with you, Harper. I can show you that every day can be a new memory to cherish." With her heart pounding, Chloe continued, "I believe in you, and I believe in us. I want you to see that those feelings you're reaching for can grow and expand, even in places you've never thought you'd feel again." Harper hesitated before replying, her voice barely a whisper, "But what if I remember things that make me question what we have now? What if the past changes everything?" "Harper, whatever the past holds, I promise to be here for you through it all. No matter what you remember, I'm dedicated to making sure you know you're cherished, loved, whole." Chloe's voice quivered, vulnerability spilling over. For a moment, silence enveloped the room, heavy with expectation. And then, finally, a smile broke through Harper's serious demeanor. "I want that too, Chloe. I want to rebuild everything, whatever shape it takes." Chloe's heart soared. Then, as if fueled by an unseen force, she leaned in, pressing her forehead gently against Harper's, their breaths mingling in the quiet stillness. In that intimate moment, Chloe felt the weight of their connection deepen. All fears melted away as she held tightly to the promise of tomorrow. It wouldn't always be easy, there would be shadows to navigate, struggles to overcome. But Chloe felt that they were both ready to reclaim the fragments of Harper's mind, to explore the chapters they would write together. And through metaphors and new memories, they would echo the love that had always been there, waiting to be recognized and embraced. "Whatever happens, I will always hold you close," Chloe vowed quietly, finally ready to let love guide them through the darkness. With that promise hung on the whispered breath of hope, together, they began to sketch out the future, one beautiful stroke at a time. As the days turned into weeks, the hospital became both a refuge and a battleground for Harper. With Chloe by her side, memories began to surface, tantalizing and bittersweet. Moments they had shared in childhood fluttered back like butterflies, memories of bike rides through sunlit parks, secret giggles in the middle of the night, and dreams whispered under starry skies. Each recovered memory brought Harper closer to the present and deepened the bond between the two friends. Chloe watched with both joy and trepidation as Harper navigated these memories. Some were filled with laughter and warmth, while others held fragments of sorrow, pieces of past heartbreak that lingered like shadows in her mind. Still, with each shared story, Chloe stood steadfast, a grounding force in the chaotic storm that was Harper's recovery. One evening, just before dusk, they sat outside on the hospital's patio. The sun cast a golden hue over everything, and the air was sweet with the scent of blooming flowers. Chloe had brought Harper her favorite paint supplies, determined to encourage the artistic passion that still flickered within her. "Let's paint," Chloe suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Let's capture this moment." "But I'm not sure how," Harper replied, biting her lip, uncertainty creeping back in. "What if I mess up?" Chloe shook her head, her confidence unwavering. "It doesn't matter. Just let it flow from your heart. Every brushstroke is a step toward reclaiming yourself." She placed a canvas on a small easel, setting the stage for transformation. With hesitant strokes, Harper began to paint. Slowly, colors began to come to life on the canvas, blues of the sky, greens of the grass beneath them, and vibrant splashes of yellow that mimicked the sun setting in the horizon. Chloe watched in awe as Harper surrendered to the moment, the joy of creation unearthing the confidence that had always existed beneath the surface. "This is beautiful, Harper," Chloe encouraged, her heart swelling as she saw the passion flicker back into Harper's eyes. "You're incredible." Harper looked up, a smile breaking over her face. "I forgot how much I loved doing this." A flicker of realization flashed through her eyes. "You helped me remember." Chloe felt a warmth fill her chest at those words. "And I'll keep helping you remember. Whatever you need." As the final stroke was placed on the canvas, Harper leaned back, gazing at what she had created. "It feels alive." A hint of tears brimmed in her eyes, reflecting not just the struggle but the triumph of reclaiming who she was. "Yes, just like you," Chloe said, reaching for Harper's hand. "You're alive and I'm here with you, always." In that moment, Harper leaned in and kissed Chloe on the cheek, her touch warm and tender. But it wasn't just gratitude, it was something deeper, something that sent shivers down Chloe's spine. "I know you love me, Chloe, and I'm starting to remember why." Chloe froze for a moment, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Their eyes locked, an unmistakable understanding passing between them. "Harper," she breathed, her heart pounding loudly in her chest. I want to explore this with you," Harper murmured, cutting through Chloe's hesitance. "Whatever this is between us, I want to see where it goes. I need to know if my feelings can bridge the chaos of my memory." Chloe's heart thudded in her chest, a mix of joy and fear twining together. "You really mean that?" "Yes, I do. I've always sensed something beyond friendship, and even with the fog in my mind, I know it's there. I'm not afraid of what's next." In that moment, Chloe felt an immense sense of relief wash over her, but also a bubbling anticipation. "I want that too, Harper. I've always wanted that." With newfound determination, they leaned toward each other, breaths mingling, and shared a kiss, a gentle but electric connection that ignited everything they had kept hidden. It was both a culmination of years of friendship and the beginning of something beautiful and unexpected. Days turned into weeks, and as Harper's strength returned, so did the lightness in her heart. Together, they began to build a new future. Chloe filled the apartment with laughter and warmth, painting it with colors of shared joy, and for every memory that surfaced from Harper's past, there was an equally vibrant experience crafted together. They spent afternoons painting in the park, evenings watching sunsets, and nights deep in laughter, recounting stories often punctuated with a flurry of playful banter. The intimacy between them deepened, and with each moment, Chloe's love for Harper blossomed further. And while not every memory came rushing back, it didn't matter. What mattered was the love they were forging in real time, a new layer atop the old that wouldn't fade with the past but instead enriched their present. Months later, the day came for Harper to revisit her father's house for the first time since the accident. Chloe was nervous. She wanted to be a steady support for Harper but feared what it might evoke. "You're ready for this," Harper said, squeezing her hand reassuringly as they parked outside the familiar home. "I'm here for you," Chloe promised, brushing a thumb lightly over Harper's knuckles, grounding them both in the moment. As they walked up to the front door, Harper hesitated before knocking. "What if I forget something?" she asked, a hint of trepidation lining her voice. "Then we'll make new memories together," Chloe said softly, meeting her gaze. "You're not alone in this." As the door swung open and Mr. Thompson appeared, worry etched across his features was quickly replaced with relief. "Harper," he breathed, pulling her into an embrace. "I'm okay, Dad," she reassured him softly. "I've been working on everything with Chloe." "Of course you have," Mr. Thompson said, his eyes softening as they moved to Chloe. "Thank you for looking after her." "I'll always look after her," Chloe replied, her heart steady with conviction. In the days that followed, laughter and conversations filled the Thompson household again. Harper found more fragments of herself as her father shared stories of their family history, reinforcing the sense of belonging that had been shadowed away. And with each story told, Harper grew stronger, more certain of the connections she wished to keep. Chloe watched, pedestalized by a mixture of pride and love, knowing that while Harper reclaimed her past, their journey together had only just begun. The light of compassion and understanding ignited by their connection warmed the spaces between them. One beautiful evening, as Chloe and Harper returned to the patio where they first painted, Harper turned to Chloe, her eyes glistening. "Thank you for loving me through everything," she said, voice filled with deep sincerity. "I'll always love you, Harper." "And I always will," Chloe promised, her heart swelling. Harper took Chloe's hands, her fingers gentle and sure. "Let's make an agreement. No matter what we face, we'll always find our way back to each other. Together." "Together," Chloe echoed, sealing the promise with a soft smile. As the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky with hues of coral and twilight, they shared a kiss under the fading light, a symbol of their love that had grown from friendship, ready to face any storm together, united as one. And in each stroke of paint, in every laugh, and in moments filled with love, they found that the most beautiful masterpiece they could create was the life they shared, one filled with love, laughter, and countless memories waiting to unfold. Together they embraced the journey ahead, knowing that the echoes of their hearts would lead them home.